we got to get to a point where we can start getting to this. Because even though I like doing this and like debunking narrative-based content, the thing that I hold dearly and the most that I enjoy about the game of football is actually the game of football. It is why we do film breakdowns and film reviews, because I want to educate my fan base and the people that want to learn more about the game of football. I want to educate them on what's going on, because one thing that I cannot deal with and I refuse to deal with any longer, and I started doing this not because I'm just doing memberships. I did this because I got tired of all summer people turning around with these buzz phrases and all this. Well, he can't get out of the huddle. He can't do this. The Browns this, the Browns that. And I can weave through that because I done played the game and I'm in here and I know how to move and figure out, oh, yeah, come on, that ain't even right. That ain't truthful. But a lot of y'all folks, a lot of the people only have the wherewithal and the means to listen to people. A lot of people don't have access to film. Some people don't even have access to cable to watch the game. Some people only can watch the highlights. So the thing that I try to do and bring to the table is I'm not going to have you being out here being ignorant. So now there's checks and balances. So now when somebody says he's trying to drift in the pocket, under no circumstances, Todd McShay, is that correct? Because I've been showing film work of Shedeur Sanders for weeks. And if you pulled up to the members only, everything that you're talking about is a bona fide lie. And you talk about going back to Colorado. How are you going back to Colorado? Go back to the Titans game. Go back to the Raiders game. Go back to the 49ers game. Go back. Stop going back 3, 4, 5 years ago. That tell me you ain't kept up on what. See, you're telling on yourself. I know you watch college film. How much pro film you done watched? Ooh. Might be kind of hard to watch all the film, right? You got 7 rounds, right? You breaking down 7 rounds of college tape, right? 7 rounds. Even the quarterbacks that may go undrafted. How much time do you got to delve and dive into Cleveland Browns tape? Not so much. So when you giving this analysis that's bland, that is generic, what tells me is you have not done the work. You have not taken a look at what's happened on the football field. If you are referencing what somebody did in Colorado and not referencing what he did last week, did you watch last week? Or you just going off my name? My name is my name. In the words of Marlo Stanfield. My name on the block. My name is out here in these streets. Well, here's what's going to happen. You go out there and you tell everybody. Marlo Stanfield, step to anybody. My name is my name. So you standing on your name, but you got to stand on that work. Talk about what he did against it, and stop. But what we got to get to is a point where we stop talking about why somebody failed. That's irrelevant. That is irrelevant. At this point, we are talking about what the fierce urgency of today. All of this other noise and jargon y'all talking about, why he fell, who made him fall, why didn't he get reps, how come it was this, what are we doing with that? It is irrelevant. Irrelevant. We are worried about what's happening on the football field today. I want to talk about how he's developed a connection with Harold Fannin Jr. I want to talk about, hey, Jerry Jeudy. It looked like y'all got a connection for everybody that was mad at Jerry Jeudy, and we was all salty at him. Shedeur Sanders wrapped his arms around and said, listen, come on over here, Jerry. I get it. We're going to work that out. By the way, we're talking about maturity. I saw the maturity firsthand. Jerry Jeudy was going off on the sidelines. What did Shedeur Sanders say to him? Did he go back at him? Did he clap back at him? Did he put hands on him? Did he get into the media and start dogging him? What did he do? He worked with him and got it together. Talk about some maturity. Talk about no maturity, bro. You might want to start. You're going to have to, all these character assassination stuff, that got to go. That got to go. You talk about what the dude do on the field. You want to talk about him backdropping and doing something? Let's do that. But all these thinly veiled, like, here's the problem. I do not like that. You don't know me. You've never met me. You haven't been in no room with me. You ain't never saw me from nobody. We don't converse. We don't hang out. We don't do nothing. You ain't never been in the same room as me. We don't have the same tax bracket. You don't wear the same jewelry or cars I got. You don't know nobody that I know, and you still talk about my maturity level. How? You talk about my character. But if he would say something about your character, then all of a sudden you're going to play victim, right? Oh, how dare he's out of line. He shouldn't have said that. And it's time out for that. Listen, stand in your business. Y'all got to understand something. If you write something, that's your opinion. You could type anything you want to, but don't be mad when the heat comes. Don't get mad and play victim role like somebody doing you wrong. Somebody just don't agree with you, bro. Somebody don't agree with you. You said something, it was wrong, stand on it. But you want to get up, you want to get the sympathy out. Oh, I'm just saying, and he says something, I don't believe athletes should be going back and forth with media members. They shouldn't be. No, you should have watched what you said. Where I was from, my mom always told me something, right? My mom always told me, you can say whatever you want, but you gotta be willing to take what comes with it. You gotta be willing to take what comes with that. So if you say something and people disagree with you and you were wrong, why do you feel like you're gonna play the victim like somebody ain't gonna call you out? So, yeah, it might take a year. It might take a year. It might take 6 months. They might not listen to you for a long time. Guys out here running around stop. What we got to get to, and the hope is, we got to get to these games. Because here's another opportunity for Shedeur Sanders. Here's another opportunity to come out here and to go head-to-head with another guy that they said was it, and you wasn't. They said he was it, and you wasn't. Oh, he's different. Caleb Williams different. Cam Ward is different. All right, show them how different it is. Or it was just the Titans. Show them how different it is against the Bears. And I ain't sitting here saying that you're going to be perfect. I ain't saying that you ain't going to throw no picks. I ain't going to say none of that. But here's another opportunity to prove people wrong. It's another opportunity to show what you can do and put it on tape. And I like the youth movement. You see, hey, rookie of the week, right? He wasn't jumping up and down and doing victory laps. And the reality of the situation is nobody that's on the Barbershop or UCSS or any other platform is doing victory lap. Sometimes I get mad and I get salty at what be happening, what be said, because these media dudes, to me, is out here trying to be funny on the slide. You think that all we want to be is relevant? You think all we want to do is have a nice storyline? I don't care about storylines. I want to beat the brakes off other teams. Listen, we've been laughed at. We've been clowned. We've been, you got stripped of your team. Every single time they talk about it, it's the name of the different people on the back of the jersey and how many quarterbacks you swung and missed on. And you finally get somebody that look like they want to be it, that want to step into that mantle, that want to be different. And you don't even know it's right in front of your face, can't even see it. And you let these other jokers in the media hype you up and amp you up on anonymous sources, and all they do is laugh and say, those guys at Cleveland, boy, hey, you gotta love the lovable losers. And them's the people that you roll with. That's the people you listen to. Those are the people that give you your information. You know what? Hey, shout out to them. Hey, if my wife would have listened to everybody else, that all my ex-wives that said, or ex-girlfriends or ex-fiancés that said G. Bush is this, that, and the third, and she got scared off, I'm glad she didn't listen to that. We're gonna figure out for ourselves. Running around and talk about pre-draft analysis. We don't care what you say. Good. I'm glad. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna say, and y'all can use this if you want. If Shedeur Sanders was wearing jewelry and had a boombox and was watching and was playing Madden 25 with his crew and shooting dice in the pre-draft evaluations, great. That's what I like to see. You know why? Because they didn't take him. I want you shooting dice in every one of them evaluations. Great. Because you know what happened? It turned out that you didn't take him, and we got lucky. We took him. Good. I'm glad he had a do-rag in there. I'm glad he was in there shooting dice, listening to Tupac. I'm glad he was doing all of those trope narratives that you said he was doing. Because good, that means we got a quarterback and you didn't. Who cares what you think about him? Now you got to go play us. I don't care what those around the league. I don't care about the league. I don't care about what another executive for another team says. I don't care. Why do you guys keep using that narrative and logic? Like I give it, you know what another anonymous executive says. I don't care nothing about, I don't care if they get their utilities cut off over there. I care about the Cleveland Browns and what we got. Not nobody talk about an anonymous GM around the league, the thought around the league. Who cares? I don't care what's going on. Hey, listen, that didn't even work in my house when I grew up. Hey, Ma, you know you better be home by the streetlights. Hey, listen, I polled the audience of the parents around our neighborhood, And the parents and around the neighborhood had said that 9:30 actually should be the time that I got to be on the porch. Because, and so I want to just give you a perspective of what the outside around the neighborhood. Boy, I didn't have them kids. I had you. You better be on that porch when I told you to be on the porch and stop playing games. Using these around the league. I don't live by around the league. I don't live around the block. I live about what's going on in my house and what we doing and how we moving. But you're too worried about that because if you did that, you'd have to actually talk about what happened on the field and not narrative. Now, wouldn't you? It's kind of, it ain't as sexy talking about them 400 yards that you got dropped on you. Let's keep cooking. Let's keep cooking. I'm watching this game because here's how, I'm just tell you how they cook with it. Let's first of all talk about this. It's going to be cold. It is gonna be cold. Kickoff temperature 12 degrees. Real feel is -5 with the wind. Wind gust up to 30 miles an hour off the lake. Browns versus Bears turning into a survival contest. Whoever wins the trench war wins the game. Bundle up. Soldier Field, it's about to be Arctic out there. That's gonna be a factor in this football game. It's gonna be a factor. But by the way, let me just tell you this. We can put this to bed too. Hey, I didn't see, this is even more impressive. Go back and watch these starts. This is the third bad weather game in a row. Take into account that when Flacco and Dylan Gabriel was playing, they was playing in picturesque weather. Beautiful, sunny. Dylan, he did play against Miami. It was a nasty weather game as well. I'll give him that. We ain't gonna be complete haters. But they playing and practicing, and man, this dude done played against the 49ers, and that was crazy, man. The dude that last week it was snowing and nasty out against the Titans. Now we about to have this type of game. This is even another opportunity to come out here and show what you can do. Because now you can say, listen, yeah, you talked all that noise, but look, he's a cold weather quarterback as well. Let me find out that he could drop. Because I was impressed with the fact that it was snowing yesterday and he had 300. Last week and had 300 plus yards. Let him come out here and have anything semblance to that. Because now we could put to bed, he doesn't have a strong arm. By the way, we done already put to bed the lie that he ain't athletic. Seems to me to be athletic. Seems to me he don't be running backwards. He got 2 first. We showed it on the film work. Two times he got out of traffic in a rushing touchdown. So there's a lot of stuff y'all be going on. We getting rid of it one by one. The cold weather situation. Hey, Ken's mom. It was cold. It was cold in Boulder, Colorado too. By the way, a Birds Hugh, you are correct. They thought it was going to be worse than it was against Miami, and it turned out to be not that crazy. But it's going to be wild out there. So you got an opportunity. So with that being said, we want to see another level with this. The thing I'm impressed with Shedeur Sanders last week was he understood what type of time he was on. He understood what the assignment was. We went over the film work with me and Tyvis Powell, and 2 of the throws we talked about was getting the ball out to Jerome Ford when nothing was available. Another one, 3rd and 20. He understood that he wasn't going to get 20 yards back, but he understood it was a nasty game in terms of field position. Let me dump this thing off to Harold Fanning Jr. and get me 18 yards. Now we are able to punt. And now we're able to pin them back deep. And now we flip the field position game because if our defense can stop them, we're going to get the ball with about 3 or 4 minutes left in the half, and we're going to have good field position. And guess what happened? He ends up throwing the pass to Jerry Jeudy for a long touchdown. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Understanding what type of time we're on, understanding the moment of the game, and being a complete game manager, being the CEO of the game plan. Okay, I'll live to fight another day right here. Those are things that I've been most impressed with. This game is going to have to be one of those games because he's going to have to pick his spots with the weather, and the Bears take the ball away a lot. Bears take the ball away a lot. They lead in turnovers. I think they got 15 or 17 interceptions, either one of the two. And not only that, let's talk about the guys that are out. This is by Dogs of Cleveland Browns podcast. Not great. The Browns ruled out several key players for Sunday's game against the Bears. And the questionable list isn't any better. So 1 hurts. Denzel Ward is out. David Njoku is out. Dylan Sampson is out. Jack Conklin is out. Wyatt Teller is out. Aiden Huntington is out. And Deshaun Watson is obviously out, but we knew that. The questionables is crazy too. Joe Bitonio is questionable. Cedric Tillman questionable. Malachi Corley questionable. Zach Zinner is questionable. And Mason Graham is questionable. Now listen, this is wild work. I know something. I'm going to just say this right now. If the Browns come out here and is able to keep this game close and keep this game close, I know something. I know something. I don't even know who Shedeur Sanders is going to throw the ball to. That's your top targets, your running backs. Not even talking about the offensive line. I mean, the offensive line will be all backups. Dylan Sampson had a nice game catching the football last week. He's out. You still got Harold Fanning Jr. You got Quinshon Judkins. You still got Jerry Jeudy, Isaiah Bond. But this is nasty work. I mean, this is a whole squad of dudes. But here's the thing. Let me tell you this. They come in here and they're competitive and they keep this thing close. And Shedeur Sanders plays one of them games where he plays turnover-free football. He makes good decisions. He makes timely throws. I done already seen enough. I done seen enough right now, to be truthful. Just off what he did last week. Under no circumstances am I drafting a quarterback in 2026. Not doing it. The biggest need for your team is offensive line and receiver. Selmo Fudd, my brother, just gifted 10 memberships. 10. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. This is why I mess with y'all heavy. This is why I mess with y'all. We appreciate everybody, all the members in here. We appreciate everybody. Shout out to you. I'm going to tell you this, man. This game is very funny because I believe it sets up to see this again. Where we at? It sets up Shedeur Sanders versus Caleb Williams. Shedeur has a chance to prove himself against another number one pick. This is key because it gives you another opportunity to start evaluating NFL games instead of talking about college fantasy football. You see, the thought process is when these college football playoffs are going to happen, there's Mendoza and these guys, and there's a lot of other guys. And trust me, I don't want to hate on Mendoza because I think Mendoza could probably be a good NFL quarterback. Am I sold on the fact that he's better than Shedeur Sanders? Under no circumstances. No. As a matter of fact, he don't have the numbers Shedeur Sanders had in college. To be honest with you. He hasn't put up and done things in the league that I saw today. It's yet to be seen because he's not in the league. But no, I just saw last week, we talked about what happened with Cam Ward. And I like Cam Ward. But if you are a guy and you're a person that says by far, head and shoulders, Cam Ward is the number one draft pick on the table, the number one guy on the board, and he's a number one overall pick, and he was outplayed by Shedeur Sanders, then what does that say? What does that mean? Because you can't bury that. Head to head with a bad roster, a bad team, and he puts up those type of numbers. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's take a look at it. This was the matchup. Cam Ward is 14 and 28, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Shedeur Sanders, 23 of 42, 364 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and 1 interception. If it turns out that in this matchup, Shedeur Sanders goes head-to-head and competes and puts up comparable numbers or wins this football game against Caleb Williams, the number one pick from the previous year, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Why would you mention anybody's? Why would you mention anybody's draft in a quarterback? Because I just saw 2 different teams who picked the quarterback number 1 overall, and you have a 5th round pick. You got to use it both ways, people. If he was a 5th round pick and you kept telling us the chances of a 5th round pick hitting, the chances of a 5th round pick is this, the chances of a 5th round pick is so slim. If he did that last week against the number 1 overall quarterback and he did it again against Caleb Williams, which he has an opportunity, then what are we talking about? Caleb Williams has a better everything. Receivers, 2 good running backs, an offensive line that hasn't given up any sacks, a playoff team, and you got Judkins and Fannin and a couple. Stop. This is an opportunity. This is a very good opportunity for the Cleveland Browns. And this is a very good opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to continue to put good film on tape and continue to understand and continue to just show the layman's, the dudes that ain't really watching no film, why it is that he deserves to be the franchise quarterback. By the way, I'm going to tell you all about this too. You guys fail to realize this, so I'll be the first to say it right over here. Let's go ahead and give you a Barbershop exclusive. If you thought before that your locker room wasn't around Shedeur Sanders, well, look now. If you thought before the locker room wasn't rocking with Shedeur Sanders, look around now. See, When you're trying to be a franchise quarterback, the decision is not upon the media. The decision is not upon fans. The decision is not upon people that are that want to clamor that, oh, we want another quarterback. Let me tell you something right now. If you Andrew Berry, why the heck would you even talk about another quarterback? And if you're the Browns locker room and you saw what the offense looked like with everybody else and you just saw what the offense looked like with him, why do you believe that the locker room wouldn't have a full-blown mutiny if they're trying to go get another quarterback and forsake all the other positions they need? See, what you guys don't realize is the quarterback is just like the leader, the general. The general is only as strong as the people who believe in him. Why do you think morale is so big in the Army? Why do you think it was so important back in the day that generals and leaders led from the front? They don't respect the general that sit up in a nice tent. They're getting all the berries and wine and all the good food imported. Why everybody sit on the front lines with no good clothing, no armor, and they starving on meager rations? Nah, the generals that was at the front of the line, the generals that was at the front at the tip of the spear, that was arm to arm with their comrades, is the generals people fight hard for. It's the people that they are willing to go into battle when the numbers don't look so good, when you look like you ain't gonna win, when it ain't guarantee you're going to come out on top. The generals that lead from the front, from the ground level, is the generals that get it done. You see, you guys underestimated what the story in the fairy tale is. Ironically, we talked about the hero's journey. It's in every trope. It's in every narrative. It's in every story. It's David and Goliath. It's King Arthur. It's the Lord of the Rings. It's the Matrix. The hero's journey in the hero tale happens in every literature, every piece of history, every great story. And what you did is you subconsciously helped create it. You see, when you're a hungry dog and you were that guy and they dropped you down. They told lies about you. They kicked you when you was down. They didn't give you no reps, but you got an opportunity, a miraculous opportunity. And then not only did you get a miraculous opportunity, you put up miraculous numbers in spite of all the things you went through. So now those people in the locker room understand intimately. This kid wasn't getting reps. He was taking snaps with support staff and Luke Whippler. He was on the practice field. He was over there with the JV. He was over there with the downtrodden. He came from nothing. They talked about how much money he lost. And now that 5th round pick just showed up and put more yards up on the board than any other quarterback that you said was better. That 5th round pick, we couldn't get 13 points. We couldn't have nobody throw for 3. He came in through for 360 plus. And you know something about soldiers. Remember what I told you earlier? Soldiers like the guys that's in the trenches with them. How much more trench worthy can you get from the hungry dogs to have to throw on his own outside in the rain, throwing at colleges, finding opportunities. And then you get to compare and contrast with somebody that started from the bottom, that was at the bottom, is going head to head with the guys that's the number 1 picks, the favorites, the guys that get all the reps, the guys that got the contract, the guys that got everything. And guess what? He looks better. He looks competent. He looks more confident. He looks more exhilarating. The front office ain't the only ones that choose the leader. The people choose their leaders. The workers choose their leaders. The community chooses their leaders. The people that standing side by side in the trenches choose their leaders. So as much as you would like to say what the Cleveland Browns feel and the Cleveland Browns understand, the Cleveland Browns are a conglomeration of 53 people and support staff that go out every single week to try to win football games. Those people's energy levels and the way they feel about a person rings is just as true as guys that's crunching numbers at the top of the food chain. So when you say franchise quarterback or quarterback of the future, don't forget, you have no future without the people. There is no future without the constituents. There is no leadership passed. The torch of the leadership, the mantle is passed and given by the people, by the players, by the locker room. So thank you, and we appreciate you. With that being said, you never know where G. Bush might show up, radio, television, internet, but you want the fresh cut on sports. I keep the Clippers with me. As always, make sure you go check it out. We'll put the link in the description. Kool-Aid Mafia in here. And we got the Barbershop gear. Nike, we'll put that in there as well. Have a good rest of your evening. And as always, make sure you check us out. Post-game show tomorrow, 2-minute warning. Make sure you also check us out coming up tomorrow for the watch party, and then be right back here for the post game, right here on the Barbershop. Have a good rest of your evening.